Hey everyone, welcome to Crypto Technical Analysis episode 79. My name is Adam, I'm your host, and today it's actually been quite a while since we've had a last episode. The past month, work has been a little busy, and I also had a second project I worked on, working on some Alexa skills. So I wrote 2 Alexa skills. I haven't really published them. It was more of like an internal for kind of not exactly for work, but so every year I try to do some type of learning class. Last year was Android using Java. This year it's going to be Alexa skills, and I wrote 2 apps. One was baby words of the day, so you basically say, hey Alexa, what's the baby word of the day, and it will spit out the baby word with the definition and a sentence. It was okay. It was kind of something that I thought about what maybe Soleil would like. I didn't really get too far into it, but it was good to learn the structure and use some of the tools that they have built since I wrote my first app, first Alexa skill a year ago. And then the second Alexa skill I did was pick a team picker. So what the team picker is you add a bunch of people to the kind of database, and it randomly picks someone from the list. So that was kind of fun. It was actually with the structure that I had from the baby words, I slammed that thing in 2 hours. It was pretty cool. Testing was a little tricky at first, but I don't know why it wasn't working at first, but it just started working for some reason. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing. Also, I worked on this without doing any streaming, and I don't know, I just didn't feel like doing the streaming, but I'm back at it. I'm ready to rock and roll, and I just kind of wanted to go over what I did. So when I created this app and moved the list of items from going from the what was it, the API for the data source, from what is it, instead of having we had CryptoWatch assets, and it had to keep grabbing more and more and more and keep a lot of connections. It took a long time to load. Then we moved that away to having a Python script run on one of my Raspberry Pis, collect this information, put it into a Firebase database, and so that it wouldn't have so many connections, it wouldn't be as slow. So we did that, and I found that even that was slow. So what I ended up doing is moving to this thing called DAO object, which is basically an internal database. Data asset object, I think that's what it is. Something like that. And what it does is it saves, it's like a wrapper around the Android's SQLite database. I was thinking about doing an SQLite database, but they seemed to be a little complex, and they, from reading online, it recommended using a DAO object. And so what I was doing there is basically there's a few things. I had to create a data asset, a data. At first it was going to be just the class itself, which was the, what kind of class was it? I think it was in the data source asset class. But the problem with that is it didn't like this array list, this class with another array in it. So what I did was I converted the asset to just a string, a JSON string, and then just parsed it in and out, which you can see down here. Turned it to JSON to a string, and then inserted it into the database. And basically what it does is it checks to see if the count, I updated the database to have a count every time when the Firebase database was updated. I had added a count because there wasn't an easy way to say, hey, give me the count everything and give me the count of all these items in the list. really it was so it's not like a nice query like SQL. You would have to receive all the items and then loop through and count them, and that's like defeats the purpose. So I added another object in the database that has the actual count. And so I query the count, then I check to see if the internal DAO database has the same count. If it doesn't, then we'll go fetch the information from the Firebase database. If it is equal the same, then I just grab with the local stuff. I don't know how often they change, and I don't know if if something breaks on my database, or if they change the API or something like that, then maybe it'll break some things internally. I'm not sure. I haven't really run the regression testing lately, which I might want to do. But anyways, it works and it loads a little bit faster, which is kind of the idea. Is I wanted to make sure to load a lot faster. And then so it's loading faster, and then since then I've done 2 more releases. I did a release with the increase, and then yesterday I did a release trying to fix some bugs. And my crash analytics, I was looking at it, I knew that there's some errors. I looked on the Play Store and it had a bunch of errors, and I was like, what is this? And ended up being the crash analytics on the Firebase web console. I was only looking at a set of data like last month, and I wasn't looking at the latest. And then I looked at the latest, and I was like, oh, that's why I couldn't find those errors, because I was looking at the Play Store console, and I was looking at these errors, and it wasn't as nice. So I ended up fixing like 5 different bugs, and then there was a few more errors that trickled in yesterday between last night and this morning, and so I'm going to try to, I think I fixed those. It was really, this is the main thing. It's 4 entry index. Let's go to the candlestick one, which I fixed right here. Every time we do this get entry for index, it fails on me. I mean, it looked like they had some protections, but for some reason it fails. So I've been using these try catch blocks so that we don't have any like runtime errors. So I've been doing that a bunch of places. So it might not function correctly, but we don't get a hard crash, and I don't want any hard crashes. So I fixed that one. We're definitely gonna do another release this morning, but I want to look at some of the things on our list. So yeah, initially made that was only 2 days ago. Today's the 20th. And look at all the to-do items and see what we got going on. We have looking to possibly simplifying the separate charts. I think we might have done that. Look at the chart list adapter. I feel like separate charts. Yeah, I think we did do that. Yeah, because yeah, this looks like it's simplified. And a chart list adapter. Yeah, I feel like we did. I feel like this is done. I don't know when, but I think it was done. Okay, then we have compute. Go ahead and recalculate the ones that have not been selected. Okay, so this can be a little tricky, but so what this is saying is let's load the app. Hopefully it loads. There we go, it's loading. So what this is saying is it's computing everything, and it will compute everything that's selected. Now, what probably isn't selected is maybe some of the trend lines. And what it's saying is, once everything's computed and they're looking at the stuff, maybe we should go back and compute the rest. So when an item is selected, it can be, I'm wondering, since this simulator is running over the past couple days, it's going a little slow. I found that to be normal. So for example, if I add in the Keltner channel, it hasn't been computed, so it takes a little while. I clicked it, it's waiting, okay. Well, but if I turn it off and then turn it back on, well, it's a little bit faster. See, simple moving average is pretty quick, but it's still like, and for some reason these dang last ones, I don't know why. I try to figure out why they get small like that, but Google app has stopped. So that is what this compute. Go ahead and recalculate the ones that need to be recomputed. So that's usually when once something is changed, data store. Where is maybe it's on main activity. We have process. Oh, let's see, what are these things? Media manager. Let's delete some of this junk. Thought I heard thunder. It's just the air conditioning. Where's our process function? Currency list. We can delete that since it's hasn't not been used in a while. Execute graph. It's not execute graph. Is internet on? Okay. Oh, this must be the process function. Process init. Yep. So we go ahead, get the coins. We update the drop down for exchanges. Then we update the live price. There was some things in here that I needed to fix. I think down here. Yeah, try catch block. Within here, and then add for the array overlays, so that's this list right here. Add those bad boys, and then add some click listeners for some things, and then we will, say we're having a swipe to refresh, click on, and then we will load the graph. And then, that's adding the swipe to down to refresh overlays. Then we update the overlays, which does the current update current graph from web. This is for regression testing. We don't need to do that. So this is it. Within here, update current graph from web. And this does execute graph update, and it is smart at only loading or only doing the technical. Let's see if we can find I think we need to find it. Running TA, where's running TA? Running TA, yeah. Clearing up candlesticks. Update candlestick. So it updates the candlestick data, then it runs technical analysis with the candlestick information. What we want to do is do something like this, or we take this and we do like update non-selected items or something like that. Or we spout off another because this is in a task itself. So we need to, if we add another async task right here, and we did this, and we did like update non-selected items dot, it won't be a clear all. We'll do, I don't know, function update non-selected items, because this one says basically recalculate if it's selected. We want if it is selected like that. Okay. All right. So this is update non-selected items like that. So it's in its own task. All right. So let's try that. I could definitely see this being a timing issue thing, but actually, let's kill this simulator. Cancel. Yeah. Alright, so it's loading. Is there like a, oh, I think that sometimes when it's loading it has that non-link stuff. So once we do this compute, let's look at all the other things, adding some indicators, other indicators. Splash screen when loading. Yes, we could. Don't want to really do that right now, though. Yeah, that's fine. Disconnected. We'll reload it. Launching out, dismiss. must be loading. Okay. Yeah, it's running a little faster now. You can tell it's still loading. It doesn't seem like it's going too slow, which is fine. So let's try and load like simple moving average. Yeah, works good. Parabolic SAR, fast. Chandelier exit, fast. The cloud, yeah, fast. This is exactly what I wanted. Perfect. Actually, you know what I want to do? Actually, undo a lot of these. Just do like 2, and then we'll do this. Load really fast, but it should be yeah, since this is in the background, all these are yes. Let's see if we go down here. Yeah, they're all loaded. Wow, that's sweet. Perfect. That was done. Done. And 9/20/2018. Alright, so I think we might have enough time to add in another indicator. I kind of want to do a not a separate chart, but like on the chart indicator. When we look at some of these guys, see if they are on the charts. Pivot points are, but that might be more challenging to do. Actually, did we do D-trend price oscillator? I think we might have. DPO, yeah, D-trend price oscillator. That is done. I don't know what date that was, but it's done. Well, the last time I did releasing was almost a month ago. So this one's done. Whole moving average. Let's see if that's added on. Whole moving average. It is added, I think. $10, $11. So whole moving average. Oh, it runs really tight. But yeah, let's do whole moving average. If it's in here, go to core, indicators, whole moving average. Let's do it. So where do we go? We go to the technical analysis. Is that right? Oh, overlay. That's right. Overlay. We add in. What does it take to do whole moving average? Just time frame. I don't know where we want to add it in the list. We'll add it after zigzag. Whole moving average, and then D whole moving average time frame, comma, comma. So where zigzag is, lots of places. So overlay dot kind dot whole moving average. Let's copy all this. And this will be time frame. Time frame equals 0. And whole moving average I think started at 7. Whole moving average. Selected whole moving average. Whole moving average. So time frame. Time frame. Whole moving average. So here we go. Find the next one. Break it off, break it off. I just wanna see you take it off. T-Swift that shit, yeah, shake it off. Are we gonna take a trip? Taking off, oh yeah. Oh, we gotta change this to whole moving average. So we better get to work, yeah, working out. I get blacked out too easy. Ever since I was 16, wait, ever since I was 15. Okay. Alright. Overlay dot kind dot whole moving average. Oop, not that one. Whole moving average. Use arrows like that, and we will change this to MD. We're gonna do purple. Whoops. Purple. Purple 700, 300. Yeah, we'll do purple 300. And then I think that was it for here. So then we can find usages. So here we go. This will be whole moving average. Okay. This dot get entry data whole moving average dot clear. Yeah, did I do that? Nope, we need to add another one. Overlay dot kind dot whole moving average. List dot add get entry whole moving average. Return list. Return list. Update overlay, update zigzag. Oh, we don't really need the update zigzag, I don't think. We do, but it's going to be a little bit smaller. Private, fun, update, whole moving average. This dot get entry data whole moving average. Dang it. whole moving average dot clear. Update whole moving average like that. Oh yeah, we can get the data. This will be time frame. And so this will be this dot get entry data d time frame like that. I think, is that right? No. This will be overlay dot values, overlay dot time frame dot value dot toInt. There we go. So something like this. So probably time series too. We'll copy that. Get to here, and we'll do whole moving average. Not that. HMA indicator and time frame like that. So we probably also want to pass in time series. And how do they get, oh, they just access by close price. So maybe we don't need to pass in time series. Close price, like that. HMA data, like that. And this will be whole moving average, like that. Okay. I'm just going to put these down here because I think that clears it up, cleans it up a little bit better. So these are already cleared. We will clear, pass this down here. I think this cleans it up a little bit, removing these clear down to where it's being used. Okay, that's that's cleared. Yeah, those are all good. So alright, so that's consistent. We update the whole moving average. Is that all it's needed? Let's compare like simple moving average. That one should be fine usages, like almost similar. Update colors. Do we have whole moving average? Yep. Color default. Yeah, we probably need a color default too. Oh, that is the color default. Oh, shared preferences. So this will be whole moving average, or should it be under D time frame? Whole moving average. So let's look at what simple moving average. Oh, they have line color. Interesting. Red. And then reset color. Okay. Maybe I should do the similar thing. Simple moving average, color. And then DHMA color. I like that. So then I want to compare where this simple moving average color is. Find usages. Line color. Okay. Where is it? Down here. Just gonna copy where the color was. Take this. DHMA color, line color, whole moving average, color next 0, and so that's the only usage. So when you go to simple moving average, whole moving average, okay, so that looks okay. Similar to our simple moving average color. Okay. So then now we go back to a simple moving average, find usages. Update colors. I think we did that one. Recalculate. So we need to add this to whole moving average. All. image. This will be overlay adapter. Dang it. We'll just do this. Take this overlay adapter, get time frame. Whole moving average. I think we have that covered. Okay, so color index would be 0 on time frame. Let's see. Yep. So I think that's good. Technical analysis. Get data. Got that. Calculate data. Got that. Update overlay. That is good. Oh, this is not consistent. Okay, I think it's good. And then update SMA. I think we should have that, which is called update whole. Update whole. HMA. Yep. And then update TA. So we need to add this to here. Down here maybe. Update whole moving average. We just need time frame. This will be whole moving average, like that. All right, let's do it. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. See how the whole moving average looks. After this, we'll do a release. Call it a day. I'll probably start prepping for the release right now. Play Store console. Build loading. Release management, release dashboards, or app releases, manage production. Okay, created a release. Alright, so let's look, whole moving average. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, there we go. Whole moving average. Expand, purple, time frame. Yeah. It works. Well, 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 look at that. Do we want to change it to some different color? Like bright green? Now that lines up too bad. Red. That's bad too. What am I thinking? Purple? Blue? Blue. That kind of stands out. And if we did a reset, purple. Yeah. It's looks great. And then whole moving average. If we select it, whole moving average. Yeah. It was slam dunk. Alright, copy comments from the last release, and then 9/20/2018. More exception handlers. Add whole moving average. Save. Let's do a build. Actually, let's do regression testing. Was that on the main activity? Is it this thing? Why is it? Why are there errors? It's weird. Alright, so let's regression testing. True. Try this out. Oh, with regression testing, I wonder if the computing of the non-select items can cause problems. Probably best to have everything selected and then run. It'd be slower, but it could spin off a lot of threads. Okay, that'd be fun. Added whole moving average indicator. See what happens. Okay, here we go. See what happens. Collecting. I'll let this run, and I won't let you guys bore you guys while this happens. I'll just let this crank out, and we'll call it for the day. Is it video pause? That's weird. Anyways, alright, well, thank you all for joining, and I'm going to keep going and pressing and do some more of these. We'll move on to some other ones. I think whole moving average, we can call this one done for the day. Whoops. Done 9/20/2018. Whole moving average, that was great. Well, it took about 20-25 minutes to add in. That's not too bad. Definitely. Let's bring it down. We're bringing it down. So, all right. Thank you all for joining, and until next time.